back, ladies and gentlemen.
5 seconds remaining.
We're here for game number 3, XctN versus GeekFam. GeekFam won game number 1 in quite an explosive fashion here, just got 2 kills, then I ran them down with the Drow Medusa strat and top of the Tiny. XctN, well, came back in game number 2 with a very solid performance, as we would expect from them coming in as the favorites here into this particular matchup against the open qualifier team. But now, new draft, new opportunity for both of these to punch their tickets and continue on in the upper bracket of this double elimination bracket. My name is DragonDrop, still joined by Mr. V. Welcome back.
I'm still here, I'm just snacking and having my tea, which is vitally important here.
That explains the sounds I keep hearing, and I'm kind of jealous, to be quite honest. I haven't had breakfast yet, and it's 3 o'clock. Rip.
Hey, it's 6 a.m. for me, and I haven't gone to bed yet, so
Yeah.
you know how it is. Alright, we got some flex picks coming out here. We have seen Silencer run his core and his support, and we've seen the same with Venge. Wyvern we've seen in the offlane. Night Stalker is clearly either roaming or offlane as well. And I kind of like XctN's response to this Vengeful Spirit Silencer pick in the Night Stalker. Night Stalker applies a lot of pressure and kind of forces these small scrimmages and ganking style plays that don't really lend themselves well to Silencer doing a big global and spending a long cooldown ultimate. So kind of like the direction XctN's going so far.
Well, that Night Stalker always been a staple, even in 706, and it hasn't really stopped in 707. That's also one of the reasons why the Beastmaster keeps being banned out or picked up in the first phase. Just having that vision on your side can win you teamfights and can win you games in the right circumstances. So, GeekFam,
turn to ban.
Silence of Vengeful Spirits. Where to go from here? Do even we try and go back to some of the other strats to try and make a Drow strat out of this one, perhaps?
You could. But Drow into Wyvern is not too fun.
10 seconds remaining.
Just by the nature of Cold Embrace. And also you're very like physical damage reliant at this point with Venge and Drow. In that lineup, Winter's Curse is potentially like fatal if you have like a bad swap or people are mispositioned, which often happens in these fights with Vengeful Spirit in them. So I'm not sure if GeekFam want to go for that Drow as well. But knowing their playstyle, they may just go for like their offlane pick right now. Something safe, something that will apply pressure into the Wyvern. Maybe something like Darkseer, but I don't think Darkseer is the best for sub-roaming Night Stalker.
Really fit into what they have already. If you go for the Knights for the Darkseer, it can be extremely powerful, but it only really works if the enemy has a team that can be exploited by that, like say a couple of melee heroes that are forced to bunch up eventually, who can make good use of the vacuum into whatever combos you have. And you really have to draft around it in a way where you have multiple puzzle pieces that can work together, so that you don't have just vacuum crush and nothing else, because if you then find yourself in a situation where you don't have that available, then you have nothing, right? And that's the trap that sometimes these kind of drafts fall into. And with Vengeance Silence already, you have nothing even to follow up with that at all. So
it's more of a laning focused pick where you apply pressure to that lane with that Iron Shell, and then you enable your Vengeful Spirit and Silencer to really dominate their lanes. It may not necessarily be that every pick gets picked for these team fight situations, but I agree with this over pick.
I don't necessarily think that just picking a hero for the laning phase is the game-winning strategy in most circumstances. Unless you really have some heavy snowballing heroes that can take advantage of that.
I think it's true to some extent, but like you have to have some semblance of lane control and dominance, and like when you're in these drafting situations where you may not necessarily have an understanding of what these team wants to do with their draft, you just kind of go through your ideas about, hey, like we've got Venge Silencer fairly defensive if he's in that support role. Even in the core role, he's also fairly like immobile and doesn't offer a whole lot in terms of kill potential. So where can we make it so that we add this pressure onto the map. And they kind of responded with that dynamic with the Ogre. Okay, we're going to take Ogre and run people down. They've ran Tiny in the offlane before. They know how to kind of do those kind of cheeky pulls with the toss combo. And so I anticipate now we're going to be looking at the mid pick for GeekFam. And this is do or die. Well, not do or die, but you know, this is their upper bracket match and they want to win. And GeekFam have the last pick, so maybe they have something in mind in terms of what they want to do with that last mid pick to really kind of bring their draft together and take it in a direction that XctN may or may not be prepared for.
Yep. That is the question. They've done it in the 1 to some extent, right? With that draw pick? Maybe not entirely expected. I know Tiny for now making a reappearance, as well as the Dragon Knight. So, XctN, they've got that and the Undying, and the Night Stalker, and the Water Wyvern. So it's very sturdy, very hard to actually kill. And if you don't kill them initially, then the Tombstone zombies are starting to stack up. You're gonna have a lot of time with the squishy heroes that you have, trying to sustain into that. So what's the hero for GeekFam now to solve that issue? Question.
I was thinking they could do something like Invoker. Like they have decent control with Ogre and Venge and just like the Silencer Ultimate. I think that's a fairly good response to Wyvern as well, and a good pairing of physical and magical damage. Another option would be OD for them. But they would just have to play carefully around the Night Stalker. Coming from XctN here, though, in terms of their pick, looking for a safe lane core, maybe Chaos Knight. There isn't a whole lot of good illusion clear right now. Is it banned out or no? No, for a jug.
You're safe, very solid. Alright. Poker could work. Something with burst, I want to say. Some magical burst.
10 seconds remaining.
That's the one thing that they're missing to really try and put some of these heroes over the edge. Because again, Juggernaut fits into that same idea. With the healing ward, you have sustain, you have ability just to take long team fights. And GeekFam, they have, as I said, they have a lot of control, they have some minus armor to work with and whatnot. But they really lacked this magical or pure burst damage, and Timbersaw should be able to provide that if he gets off the ground.
Versus these 3 strength melee heroes, so it's a lot. You do have to be a little bit careful about the Tombstone, but Timbersaw, like, who's going to hit the Tombstone? Really? Like, no one, really, right?
Yeah.
Like, unless they all really get on top of it, it's not going to be the easiest thing for GeekFam to deal with. But Timbersaw doesn't care about a Tombstone.
He can have 20, he can have all the zombies in the world on him, and he's just happy about that, because it'll make sure that in these team fights, your reactive armor keeps being stacked up.
Yeah.
Because they do trigger that, right?
I believe so.
Anything else wouldn't really make sense, because they are, at the end of the day, normal right clicks.
They are zombies attempting to auto-attack you. As we move to the game, and I don't have control of my camera.
Because you watch a replay, you have to restart Dota.
Interesting.
It's a bug, guys. We're still in beta. Both teams, though, you better be quick, because both teams this time around, they're walking through the same kind of area of the map. Bloomer continues to taunt forward on this Undying. Ready for the hip-hop zombie battle. GeekFam in a good position, though. They're holding on the high ground for the time being in XctN. They're the ones going into them right now, and they have no idea. Lumic, well, that's a value. Arcane Curse hits on 3 heroes. There's a lot of damage being done, but there's also a value decay. Hits it on only 2. It'll look like more, actually. But yeah, it looks like both teams will just punch each other a little bit and then walk to separate ways.
Meanwhile, Night Stalker is like, hey, guys, I might get 2 runes. Stop, defend your high ground, and I'll get both.
No one can TP for 30 seconds, so yeah, no one's making their way there either. So either they contest bottom or they're gonna give up 3 runes. Yeah, they're gonna contest.
I think GeekFam knows that they don't want to contest. Good insight by them.
Yep.
And especially with Wyvern's Arctic Burn being down, there's not a whole lot of opportunity for them to contest. RR is going to pull the creep wave here, though. Any TPs going top lane soon? Guess it'll be Venge,
just
right?
now, so double TP Venge, well Silencer, onto the shrine.
They're anticipating this.
And they will be happy now that this is exactly what's happening. His Nightstalker is still fairly tanky, does have the Stout Shield, and a lot of armor and health points, so they're just holding onto the stun for as long as they can. Go for the body blocks, into the right clicks, into everything that they can to maximize the damage output that they have. And if they have a little bit more, yeah, it should be the first blood. Maybe not with a Fairy Fire.
Why you turn around?
Oh, I know exactly what happened there. You know when you just trying to scramble, you keep right-clicking in the bottom left corner. Then you hit the mini-map and you turn around. That's the pathing. That's
these people with their mini-maps in the bottom left-hand corner.
Oh yeah, right, you have it on the other side, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Because I did that like 6 times in a row, and I'm like, I'm done with this.
This is the next level strat to deal with that. Alright, so talk about his middle lane, because Timbersaw, generally speaking, very tanky with reactive armor, but if you only have 440 health points, because decay just brings you down. How effective is that going to be?
It's okay. You also regen more effectively with less strength as well.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
And like doing 400 damage in this kind of like level 2, level 3 situation, very unlikely, as Ollie kind of forced back here. He will cancel the Clarity, I believe, with the Fire Blast or Ignite.
Oh, he keeps doing it. Keeps taunting as well, which is tilting me to no end.
Rod, why are you blocking top? Is going to secure the bounty? He gets it too.
As a support, it's so infuriating if that happens. Same for Ollie, he'll also find his own Bunny Storm. Hit your potato on the money with that, so... I like how these dynamics shape up these days.
Did Tiny intentionally block this hard camp when he's been using it to pull lanes?
I'm not sure. Otherwise, you would put the ward a little bit further to the right, right? So just keep an eye on this, offering this. But yeah. Good
damage
actually.
And slow.
Yeah. Is he dead here? Let's have the toss available. There it is. Some more right clicks. You can throw this tree if he wants to. There it is. Ollie will take over for a while. He's doing too much on Tangos. Does have a few stick charges to work with. The Bass on level 1.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, James has actually been doing very well versus Timber. He's got about a wave worth of last hits over top of the Timbersaw, which I don't think should be happening, but Timber is definitely not going to die anytime soon without additional rotations or misplays. Top lane, this Undying is getting low.
Play hard. Well though, and yeah, well, it's Undying. Due to his name right now, but last right click from something following him. Yeah, from Skimblue. Finds that across the trees. We'll trade 1 for 1, and considering that the strength of the Undying in exactly these type of situations, that's actually quite impressive. Now RR, gonna be harassed out. He should be able to survive this one though.
Yeah. The Silencer does go down before he gets the int off from the Undying Death though. So no int for the Silencer on that, just the int from the First Blood.
Oh, Twitch chat never change. Clicking minimap in 2017. Feels bad, man.
I'm panicking. I'm panicking.
Alright, so GeekFam up to a decent start up top, middle lane. Well, James continuing to style right over John. Can secure some CS here with the word Def, and it's starting to affect the Dragonite as well. His own Dragon's Blood region, it's forced to TP back to base, and it's not something that's supposed to happen here for Dragonite, generally speaking.
With the Arcane Rune
on top lane here, Tombstone understand they get rid of it. Skembaloo is dropping very, very low and will be falling. RR, well, the target of that Ignite. Lumik continuing to fight here together with RR. Nightstalker coming back in and want to play hard. Already down 8 decay stacks. One more right click. There it is. RR will fall, but once again without losing intelligence. So space created. Mima down bottom. They dove very hard to the tiny by the looks of it. How did that?
Doing?
I don't even know. I think it was trying to spin. The spin expired maybe.
I think he just got the toss off on that last auto attack and prevented it from happening. And in turn, Juggernaut just takes too many tower shots. Gabby overstepping his bounds. That should not happen. You should not die solo to the enemy off lane.
It's a bit of a tactical tumble. As they
Maybe
say.
he clicked on his mini map as well.
Well, where does it leave us now?
GeekFam's doing alright. They have to be slightly concerned about their Vengeful Spirit because Venge is really their main tower pusher. Tiny does offer a little bit in terms of getting these towers down with the tree grab, but apart from that, they're really reliant on Venge to take down these towers. Maybe get up something like a Deso or just maybe build up that Agi. Because Timber can tank the waves, but isn't the best tower pusher.
It's also nighttime. Level 5 on our 3 points up in the Revolt. Just for going to silence here in this game. So don't really want to gank the Timber Saw. It's not really worth it. So instead, just have that extra nuke to work with.
Now I saw this discussion on Reddit with the Void Mini Sun. I believe it's still working during nighttime at least. So you have a swap out.
Swap out, stun onto Undying. They have to try and okay. Lag spike, but they're back. We missed a few kills back and forth. Silencer falls after the Undying. Hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Coming mid lane. They make move onto the DK.
There it is, stunned up, trying to bring him down. It's very tanky, but on 2 points of the Dragon Ball, it's not that tanky up in the face of the Timber Sword. Gabby trying to turn things around with the spin. Almost gets enough onto Ollie, tossed up into the air, and, well, brought down before he can even get the Omni Slash off. He was not happy about that at all. Now Winter Wyvern coming in from the side. Ollie actually gets tossed into Rage Potato. You fight, no pussy. Get into this, yes. No damage against you. He does though. He gets the nukes off. Also Tombstone somewhere in the low ground. Xion will take care of that.
Sanser, are you gonna help out your buddy?
You want to bring down this tiny. Slow him down one more time with a decay. Nice little avalanche though. Xion is there. Another toss back onto R. Not quite enough damage. Oh, there it is. The breathe fire. The raindrops, not enough to save him from that one.
Very close play there. I think Geek is or GeekFam is benefiting from this because it's giving the Vengeful Spirit a lot of space, and Gabby going down there. Again, these are 2 unnecessary deaths.
Yep.
And he spins instead of Omni slashing.
Oh, well, creeps around, so...
Even so, you're guaranteed at least 1 more slash.
Yep.
Which does 200 damage, which was about the HP that Venge got away with.
Yeah.
Then you do miss out on the spin damage as well.
Very hard to make that call, I think.
I would just be sufficiently tilted that I would go for the Omni slash.
Gun. 2 reactive armor stacks, they'll keep him alive. James just wants to shoot him out of the lane for a while to get a couple of extra right clicks off on the tower.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Leverage that DK strength, but he's starting to struggle a little bit up against Timbersaw. He doesn't care about losing his strength, but Dragon Knight certainly does.
Yeah. Again, we do see the efficiency of losing strength with terms of base health regen. You just gain a larger percentage back eventually.
Yep.
But in this case, Schwan is caught up with CS. They're about dead even. Now he's just going to turn around and start pressuring this tower. And how are they going to deal with this Timber Saw? He's got 34 armor. That's 63% physical resistance. Like, even with Omni Slash.
It's just the timing where you cannot touch this hero. Unless you have, like, some poor Skywrath or something with level 6, 7, 8, something in the Kaya. It's like, you need some heavy magical damage. They really don't have that right now. I guess Void is a decent nuke, so is the Breathe Fire, but it's not going to be enough to bring him down quickly. Meanwhile, up top, go on Lumi. He does have the Tombstone to work with. He wants to throw it out, but he's being silenced now. Opts to just try and run away instead, and okay, turning around for another one.
They're gonna run away.
Yeah,
This
Arcane
is TP.
Crow should not take him out. Ollie with the TP out will be successful. Now the stun out to RR, trying to bring him down to swap out of the only slash. They got two slashes off, and now the spin to finish up Sembler. They trade 1-for-1 thus far. James looking for more, but has a lot of mana to work with if he wants to between the stick and the soul rings, but doesn't have to go for it. Top tier 1
Meanwhile,
has fallen
Timber
in middle lane as well, with the fire of the catapult.
Yep. This is how he plays it. He just like tanks up the creep waves with the catapult and lets the catapult do the work. And Tiny bottom, he's got tosses to deal damage to the tower. There's a lot of fighting going on this top lane, but who is still farming, right? On the other side of the map, and it's Timber and Tiny, which you don't really want to let farm if you're trading evenly in these fights. You either want to crush the fights or be getting more out of the map.
Yep. Oh.
How's the stream looking? Are we alive?
We're live, yeah, for 4.5 minutes right now.
For now?
Yep. All good.
As we have bottom,
oh god,
Undying going down.
I blame you for this T-Tours.
The T-Tours?
All your, yeah, okay, the fight actually continues here. A couple of stuns back and forth here with James also coming through. March picks up another tree. Try and use as he pleases, but Ollie looks like he will be the target. But not enough time for John to come back in, follow up stun. Bring down a Night Stalker. Now perhaps looking for more James. I don't know, he doesn't have a lot of help, but he can turn things around onto the Tiny for a little bit. But now there it is, the Winter's Curse, that's what they were waiting on. They're gonna lose eventual spirit to that. That's a big deal. James still taking out to the Arcane Curse, and Chuan, he wants some revenge, and he'll get it with that chakra and play hard in the middle of it too. So time to stack up intelligence. Plus 10 in total now.
Do you think Silencer should kill, should get int from Venge if he kills her during Arctic Curse?
Absolutely, right. I mean, it's down to the Venge, just proving to be stupid because she got called out, so you should lose intelligence, right? That's how it works.
I agree.
Silencer, well, lose some intelligence as well. That'd be fun if you could regain like 2 of your intelligence to kill Silencer.
I definitely agree with that idea. I think
not like steal as he does, but regain if you lost some.
Yeah. Would you steal it back though, or would you just gain yours back?
Steal it back, I guess.
Okay. As we have Raging Potato going down to a tree. Wyvern.
Drop down pretty low to the combo, and then bought himself a little bit of time with the Cold Embrace, but then the tree toss to catch up with them.
Yep. It's only fire dragons that are good versus trees. These ice ones suck versus them.
Making them more brittle, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to get really, really cold.
Alright, on bottom lane. Going for the Bloodstone build? I think this is fine. He did very well with it last time, as he's just aggressively jumping in here. He doesn't care. There's nothing for him to really be super concerned about, unless they rotate like 4 or 5 heroes to deal with him.
Also needs to keep the reactive armor stacks up, but no creep coming in. We'll take care of that soon. Now, okay. There was a hero there for like a second. Then there wasn't. Now they should be able to bring down the tower, right? Meanwhile, mid though. Look for some trades, perhaps. Signs up on the Silencer.
Global is up.
RR doesn't actually get up to the high ground. Then plenty of rotation from GeekFam. Turn things around to get the Undying. They're gonna get the Tombstone too. Another turn to go to swap back. They're looking for more. They're looking to find James. Another toss back into the tower. Into, not extra control for Molly because he doesn't have it, but March provides himself 4 heroes in the middle of that. 3 die up there. That's, no, 2 die. R gets out somehow. Might as well have been 3 with the Tombstone being like, what, 200 gold at this point? And it's maxed out.
Gabby getting a lot of good farm from this stack here though. Spins down a double stack and a creep wave. He really needs to recover. How's he doing in terms of actual net worth? He's below the Venge, but Timber and Tiny are actually on top of the net worth charts.
Yep. I'm having an exceptional game. And what's the way back for XctN? Because with the Undying and the Night Stalker, I mean, aren't they supposed to be the ones ahead at this stage again?
most definitely. They need to taunt more on the Undying to trigger the enemy team into taking bad fights, probably. Meanwhile, bottom, Wyvern goes down to the tree combo again.
Well, that's why you need to save the trees, because without trees, Tiny wouldn't be able to do that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah.
No?
Meanwhile,
This is
Timber's just tanking the tower and
Still
just doesn't
16 minutes
care.
in. Yeah, he really doesn't. 20 stacks are more than enough. Even through the spin, through the silence. He will stand that for a while. The Avalanche will still connect onto Gabby. He does have the Omnislash available, but he cannot get it off. The Global Silence to give them that covering fire just in case. And Lumic, well, can throw down a Tombstone, but what does it really do at this point? Just gonna get right down by Chuan. It's starting to drop a little bit lower now than he would maybe like.
He really doesn't want to die here. He just got
oh, the toss back again! Seen that in the game 1? Was it game 1? Was it? Yeah, it was game 1 too on March, wasn't it? Or was it the early series? I'm not sure, but yeah.
Got the
Timber Chain TP.
TP.
Oh, just out of range. Whew.
This is some fighting without their carry Venge, mind you, or their support silencer being there. This is
It's just moral support at this point.
Yeah.
And at least for silencer, you have the Global Silence to work with. That definitely helped out and make sure that the Juggernaut had no possibility whatsoever of getting that spin off. Or even the Winter Wyvern. The way Raging Potato was at that point.
I think when you're looking at how the game is progressing, you really have to think about, okay, we're behind, but we're not like... They're not out of it yet from the side of XctN. They need to use the arsenals that they have to use what's within their arsenal to find kills on the map. And that's not going to be on Timbersaw. That's going to be on heroes like the Ogre or the Silencer or even the Venge. So they have the Shadowblade and they need to use it. And they can't be getting caught out like this Wyvern.
Oh, James with the Shadowblade initiating onto the Silencer, trying to burst him down, burst on the easy targets first, and they do that. Now the multicast stun though, onto him from Ollie. Gambolo coming through, around that extra bit of damage here. Gabby dropping lower and lower. Now March coming through with the Avalanche toss. Don't have damage here, no, doesn't look like it. At least not for Gabby, but they already brought down James. Now swap back, Gabby with the Omnislash. That's a good amount of damage being done in return, but it's not enough to bring anyone down. They're all huddling together. GeekFam with a power of friendship. They secure more and more kills. Double for Chuan, and Lumic, he's in the middle of that too. Another Avalanche does get the ultimate off on Raging Potato. Again, not enough to kill anybody. I'm not sure who that was on. But the train is still rolling, Mr. V. They lost one hero. A single hero.
It was Ogre, so I want to say like it's all Ogre now, but he's the one that's dead, so it's not necessarily the best pun to use.
He's helping out. Look at these trees. I mean, it's not punching very fast, but he's punching very hard. So to get the tier 3, death timers, it's not even 20 minutes into the game. So death timers aren't that high either, so they can't actually go for the racks.
Yeah.
But this is heavy momentum in their favor.
Yeah, I think this game is easily like winnable by GeekFam in terms of playing out a safe game. You can take the top shrine, you can go take Roshan, maybe go pop a shrine or two to heal up your cores, but you just have to avoid these smoke plays from the side of XctN and don't get caught out. If Timber stays alive right now and they aren't punished, I think they're in a really good spot.
Walking right into them, he does have max stacks up, but well, Global Silence coming with some extra bit of time. He turns things around with the Shark Bomb doing a bit of damage, but Rest of Steam coming in a little bit too late. Turns out 5 people can still kill Timbersaw somehow, and okay, they continue forward here. Tombstone is down in the tier 1 tower. Thinking about trying to get rid of it, but Ollie, well, caught in a bad position now. Throws on the stun, Avalanche. Then they can go for a toss, but at this point you'd just be tossing a zombie. Maybe just toss Nightstalk into your teammate. Alright, that'll also work. Meanwhile in front though, Chuan, he's right back with the Bloodstone. Back to 14 charges, but great enough chaos to get the Avalanche to interrupt the TPs. So they still make a 2-4 trade out of it.
I'll take that as tribute.
Are able to make his way out, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
The questionable plays in the middle of that, but sure. Yeah, alright. That makes it all worth it.
Losing the Timbersaw Bloodstone charges, not good. but it's not the worst thing in the world for them. They did expend Global Silence as well, but they're able to get, you know, a few recovery kills up for Timber, and this also opens up the Roshan for them. And they're not too concerned about Gabby on this Juggernaut. You pick Juggernaut to be the safe core that's, you know, going to have a stable game regardless of what the lanes really are, but Gabby just kind of been either outplayed or just not necessarily had a good game.
Yep. That lead, at least with that fight, still controlled it up a little bit. It's around 10k now rather than closing in on 15k. That sense, XctN has been able to stop them bleeding a little bit, but they need to try and follow up with something here. Need to find some of these items, Gabby. Going for the Manta style, like right now the Global Silence is still a big factor in these fights with GeekFam, just to provide that shut up button, right? The covering fire of saying, hey, we are initiating on you, you're not doing anything against it, period.
I'll take that.
Gabby's working towards an item against that, but the rest of the team, I guess BKB and Knights. Oh, they see Raging Potato. Oh man, it's need actually a bit of more damage here. There it is. Xuan, he doesn't care.
Yeah, no cares in the world.
Fine guys, I got it. I just dived tier 3.
Juggernaut's mid. There's a DD, so if he spots this, maybe they can get a good fight, but he'll probably just spin down this wave and try to come back to fight.
Look for tier 1 bottom when he's at it. No way to defend tier 2. But GeekFam, they have bigger plans anyway. Tombstone down in the side. Scandaloo. Now this time they'll be able to take care of that. Well, that's a cooldown.
James has no mana and didn't have TP, so he's taking forever to get back. And same thing with Juggernaut. He's just choosing not to come back.
Not back on Lumic. This looks so easy right now.
Their cores just aren't coming back to fight. They're just doing their own thing. They think they can't fight at this point in the game.
Just some free racks, and I can't really fault them. Raging Potato just coming back now, and the one way they turn this is with a really good winner score, so just everything stacking up into the winner score like that. So toss here into the winner score. So match, I will not die to that, but fairly close. Rest of XctN will be able to finish that one off. So they're getting a few things here and there. Gabby also got the Omni Slash to play hard. They finish up these supports is top of the Timber Saw. Bloodstone now down to 11 charges. Scambaloo and Marchstone, we're able to survive. And they
ED's still up on top. It will expire now though. It's going to be a missed opportunity there as they do scout out the Tiny.
Ooh,
but
I think Shadow Blade coming for cooldown too.
There's a gem up on Night
Oh,
Sucker. This is a really important gem. They need to secure the vision. They're going to have a hard time pushing out lanes for right now until like Juggernaut gets 1 or 2 more items. And it looks to be the Manta Blink route. But pushing out top is just going to slow down their ability to farm. And top is really somewhere where you want to farm as Radiant. You have the shrine there that's relatively safe, but the Dire haven't actually invested the time into taking down these shrines yet. And I think they should definitely do so, especially with Aegis.
Something that we've seen teams put less priority on. I'll just bring down these shrines. Because they're still not entirely
It's a change
sure
of
if I understand
positioning
it.
too, right?
Yeah. Smoked up, looking for a kill. Down bottom, it's a very vulnerable set of racks, obviously, especially with top lane being the one that they claimed earlier. So, top lane, of course, very far away. If you see someone responding to this, it's gonna take a while for them to come down to the bottom, certainly. Swap back and Raging Potatoes. Don't want to commit for this. They have the Aegis and Vengeful Spirits, so they don't really care too much either. Trying to bring down a Tombstone on a half health, play hard, should be able to finish it off now, unless there's some heals, but not available. Now John in the middle of that. On top of the spin, Gabby does have the Omni Slash available in a couple of seconds. They need to control them up a little bit more. There's no Global Silence, just been used. XctN still in a decent spot, but they've lost James, which is the big one. Xuan, well, he's even bigger. With the Chakram on the side, trying to fly into the trees. And to do so, now 3 heroes down without buyback. Have GeekFam done it?
Yeah, this is over. They've just rolled over XctN in this game. The Timbersaw pick, absolutely doing amazing work this game. destroying DK in the mid lane, and they just, with a poor performance on Juggernaut, they've just outperformed them.
Yep. Well, here we are. Lumic able to stay alive a little bit longer, but they're up against Mega Creeps. The Global Silence comes back off, and they have plenty of damage for this one. And Gabby, he threw out the Omni Slash trying to do something, right?
He landed on a Siege Creep and it just died. And then he got like 3 slashes of the 9 off.
Oh no.
Oh, interesting that they're sticking around to play a little bit longer here.
Well, I got that kill on the Silencer, but they're gonna pay that with the Wyvern Sword. At the very least, Scambaloo just man-fighting into the spin from Gabby. So we realize, maybe not. If the rest of the team, the Avalanche, will catch both of these heroes. The dead body tossed onto the Night Stalker.
GG.
GG, well played indeed. Not what I expected, but kudos to GeekFam. Very solid play, and that, as you mentioned, the Killer Instinct game number 1. Just going for the win when they knew they could. Punching numbers into the calculator, seeing that happy face that come out. It comes out. In game 3, so really good draft and solid execution. Not
I
too
think
many mistakes
the Tiny just made so many meme plays that were also good. Throwing Drow in, getting a solo kill this game in the laning phase on the Juggernaut. This hero just was really useful for GeekFam. They used it really well. I really like teams taking these heroes that have been around for a long time. And yes, Tiny did get changed and now can pick up a tree with this new ability or whatever, but they really used to toss in a creative way, and I think that really helped them kind of secure this win as well.
Yep.
It's like, how do you play against that? Like, do you even know what it's like to play against that? How many teams have experience playing against this offlane Tiny that will pull waves with the toss and will like randomly toss his teammates around in fights to gain better positioning?
Yep.
Just a hard thing to do. Really well played by GeekFam.
Well, I concur. That means that they do move on in the upper brackets. They'll play up against New Beginning. Lower bracket matchup will be Clutch Gamers versus XctN. Taking a look at the schedule, we see that those games are supposed to be happening tomorrow, both of them. Same time as today, 1700 and 2000 Singaporean Standard Time, or SGT. And, yeah, you definitely tune back in for this one. I believe there's other regions coming up as well today. Yes, CIS. There's some CS games today, I believe. But yeah, keep an eye on the BTS Twitter. I think that's the place to go to make sure that you don't miss any of the broadcasts. And while you're at it, you can also follow us at DragonDropDota and my co-caster at Mr. V Dota 2. V, any last words for the people?
Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to see what this GeekFam squad does moving forward. They're new players on the block, I'd say, kind of fighting in through these open qualifiers. And I just want to see how they perform versus other teams. Like, they take down XctN, which, you know, they made it to TI this year. They got, what was it, 13 to 16, so not the best performance. But,
yeah, you
know, new blood's always fun on the scene. To see these new strategies that they pull off and what they bring to the table. So thanks for having me on. See you around.
Yeah, thanks for joining in. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.